This is a podcast from the Queen City Podcast Network.
Welcome to Nerd School.
Nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
Yeah.
Suck it, nerds!
Nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
Suck it, nerds!
Nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
Suck it, nerds!
Visit me, daddy ass.
Welcome to Nerd School.
Okay, yeah, I am fucking swamped at work, so we'll have to make this quick. And you're clearly in your car on your lunch break.
No, I'm at work. It's just so I work in a co-working space, and so all the little rooms for calls have been taken. So I came to my car.
So yeah, it is
All right.
this thing. So
We'll burn through Spider-Man Homecoming,
Yeah,
the rest of it.
and then
Oh,
I just want to
good.
know to listeners, this is what we do for you. Okay, it is
Mhm.
winter, and I'm in my car taking this call because we want to talk about this with you guys.
because we
Well-
want our listeners to hear us talk about Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yes.
Yep, and all the more incentive for them to like and follow and subscribe.
Yeah.
Also, send us some money or follow us on Patreon so we can all retire and just do this all day.
Yeah. Do we have a Patreon?
We
You
talked about
set up,
starting
man.
one.
Remember?
You did, Joe. That was you.
I think
Yeah.
we got one, but I don't even know how to get on there. I'll have to get back on there
Oh
and figure
God.
out how to do
Okay,
it.
guys.
Good job,
While we-
idiot.
That could be like $1 million sitting there waiting for us, and
Send
Yeah.
us
they didn't get to it.
No
Money.
extra credit.
just send us money on PayPal at History for Jerks. I think it's the name.
Do you even have that as
I know I have a Cash App at JEAUX Hunsaker. Send me money, and I promise I'll share it with these guys. Yeah, wink,
You're
wink.
probably more likely to get a shared account if you send it to me.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through TBJ. Yeah, we'll get a Patreon going at some point, but let's get some subscribers and listeners and followers first.
Yeah.
So do all that. And one thing I forgot to mention in the Spider-Man Homecoming, not to jump right in, but we're all in crunch time on our lunch breaks here. There are two people in this movie that I have met personally, and I didn't mention it.
So it's a flex.
You
You're doing a
forgot
flex.
to
It's a
mention
flex.
two best friends, two more
It's
best
a
friends.
flex. Two best friends that I actually
And you know
met
them.
these guys.
You know them by name, not
One
that
of them-
one person
Like he
or that
knows
one
just
guy.
Don Cheeto. No, he knows. Who
Yeah,
was it?
one of these I have their cell phone number in my phone.
Surprise.
Do you guys know who the two are? They're both comedians.
Martin Starr,
No, I wish I knew.
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal
JB
Buress.
Smooth.
Hannibal
Yeah.
Buress, yes. Yeah, he texted me and was pissed that I wouldn't buy him chicken wings. And he texted me a smiley face just straight on, like a face like that. Because I texted him and said, "Oh, the settlement's all ready when you're ready." He's like, "Oh, yeah, can I get some chicken wings?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." Then I ordered him. I was okay, new settlement with the chicken wings added. And he's just like, not happy face.
You were supposed to
Charge for
comp
a
him
chicken
chicken wings,
Wow.
Joe.
Yeah, he was like, I sell out a show. I sell out 1,000 seats and you can't buy me some chicken wings. And I'm like, oh,
That was a Joe fail.
yeah,
Just-
sorry.
We're
I
sorry,
should-
Hannibal. We're
Sorry,
for
Hannibal
that.
Buress. I should have bought you chicken wings back in whenever it was he was there.
You
And then
should
the,
have.
the other one is another comedian, Martha Kelly, who is the tour guide in the
Okay.
elevator. Or Martha Kelly.
From
Yeah.
off of Baskets.
Baskets, yes. She's a funny comedian. She does that dry comedy. Like she always just has that flat affect and does stand-up comedy. So I just want to get those flexes out of the way that I have two
You
connections.
personally know two more
Yeah.
people.
And
And-
Martha Kelly's character turns out to be the Spider Queen in comic books.
Really?
No.
Oh, liar.
I
Lie.
thought you did- Oh my God. That just made my day. Good job, Ed.
That didn't make my day.
Your day is ruined.
That was the point. He wasn't trying to make the day.
Ruiner. Ruiner.
So back to the movie where we left off. Do you guys remember where we left off? I think we're back
right
to
after the Washington Monument.
yeah, right after that whole thing, right?
Right.
The elevator is going to plummet. Returning to New York City, Parker persuades Davis to reveal Toombs' whereabouts. Oh, because he goes and confronts
Don Glover.
Donald Glover, who I wish I knew.
Aaron Davis.
Aaron
was,
Davis.
we talked
I
about.
wish I knew Donald too.
Yeah,
Is
he's-
the Prowler, and we covered Donald Glover being in the running for Spider-Man, which was kind of the impetus for creating Miles Morales in the first place.
Okay.
Back in the day when they
the
were,
Prowler. He's
I
the
think it was
Prowler.
before the Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans, when they were like doing the first reboot after Tobey Maguire's 3 Spider-Man movies. They're like, for some reason, they're all right. We're gonna reboot Spider-Man. Everyone, there was a huge like a social media thing going. Donald Glover should do it because he was real big in the community at the time, I believe.
And he loves, like, isn't that the thing you said? He loves Spider-Man. Like he's a big Spider-Man fan or a big Marvel fan. Or
I mean, I think so. I mean, I remember like there was a lot of, and there was like a big thing. Oh, Donald Glover should be Spider-Man, and then there, of course, there's the shitty white nerds backlashing
racist
against
people,
that
yeah.
idea. And I remember like there was a quote of him saying like she should be a white guy because that's we identify more with him or something like that. And it's like, you don't think there's a black kid in Queens somewhere that's really into like photography and science? You don't think that
No,
could be
Andy, there are
possibly
no
a
black
thing?
kids
Yeah.
anywhere into anything. Duh,
Yeah.
Andy.
That's what
Why
he
would
was
black
saying.
kids be in STEM?
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and I think a lot of that was opened some Marvel creators' brains, and let's see what we can do about getting a black Spider-Man up in here. Because it became a thing where like a lot of white nerds will go, well, just make your own characters, make new characters that don't turn the established characters.
our beloved white honkies.
Yeah. And but then I think the idea was they're like those established names. It was sort of like giving access to the big franchise names rather than having to build from scratch a new character and try to get this character into the zeitgeist. People know Spider-Man. People know.
So
you know,
while we're talking about this Spider-Verse thing, into the Miles Morales and all that, who's like that? Like there's that pig.
Spider-Ham,
I gotta rewatch it. That's like from
Peter Porker, Spider-Ham.
and that's like a
That's actual comics, comedy comics. Like they do sometimes would do
like
parody,
like
of,
a Weird Al. That's like Weird Al for music. They do parody comics.
sort of. Yeah, it was like I think a more, I don't know, kind of kid geared. Like, oh, we'll have a lot of fun, and everybody except the Marvel universe, except everybody's an animal. There's like Spider-Ham instead of Spider-Man, and then
Like the Muppets when they made them babies. You
Yeah.
just-
Yeah,
you
yeah,
make
yeah,
them-
yeah.
It is.
Similar concept.
The
And then there was
Muppet Babies, yeah.
I think I talked about it this last time. There was a parody comic, like a satire of the Marvel did, like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and everybody did satirically lampooned their own work with a comic series called Not Brand X, which is Brand X was the thing. I think Brand X is what they used to call DC Comics in the Marvel Comics letter pages, but they had a few runs of just making fun of their own stuff because they had senses of humor.
Okay, and who are the other, like, I guess there's multiple spiders in the Spider-Verse.
Oh, there's a million.
But there's
they've
in
done a
that-
whole thing recently in the last 5 years or so about the Spider-Verse, and this writer Dan Slott, who I've met, who was on my first podcast.
There we go.
We
All
talked
right,
to him
small
for.
flex, Andy.
Drop
Live
the
that in
names.
there.
Name
Live
dropper.
it in.
Name dropper, Andy.
I had a podcast called The Book Report back like 10 years ago.
Can you still
and
find those episodes online somewhere?
Probably not, because that whole site kind of went down. But
I'm sure the internet.
I have the
archive is
recording somewhere. I could,
Oh, you do?
but I might need to see if I can start uploading those.
Dust those off. We'll put them on the History for Jerks website under archives or some shit.
Yeah, maybe. But he did this thing about like Across the Spider-Verse or something like that, where he was determined to use every version of Spider-Man that's ever been anywhere.
Okay.
Like, because they do alternate universe stories all the time. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna get every alternate universe Spider-Man we've ever seen.
But it's not. So it's not just Spider-Man that has a verse like that you could do this with. Like, so is there a million versions of, say, Thor, Black Panther,
I mean, technically there
Angel,
could be.
whoever.
There's not as many stories told about them as Spider-Man is one of the most popular characters.
Just
ever.
because he's
Like,
so popular and everybody.
Yeah.
Like, okay, gotcha.
But-
so Superman, there's probably
yeah.
a million Supermans, right? Batmans.
oh
you know,
yeah,
there's a million
DC is a
Batmans.
whole other thing with their multiverse. They create that's yeah. There was it's way too complicated to go into.
TBJ's a Batman.
Yeah, and in
I
theory,
am, but you're not supposed to tell the whole world
Oh.
my secret.
Oops.
You're not
Crap.
supposed to test
It-
my game. You don't need that, Joe.
I'll cut this out.
Don't test.
so in theory, there's an infinite number of possible permutations of Spider-Man, or every Marvel universe. Like there's an infinite alternate timelines.
Okay, so
And-
we get that little bit with Donald Glover when his hand stuck to the car. That's hilarious. And Donald
Yeah.
Glover's great. He's like, man, you got to get better at this part of the job. That was kind of funny. And then he confronts Toombs and his associates at the Staten Island ferry. And Parker captures the group's new buyer, Mac Gargan, who is, you guys, I think, already explained this. He's going to be Scorpion, or he
Yeah.
is Scorpion, right?
Yes, although he was also briefly Venom for a while in the comics.
Oh, Mac Gorgon
But-
was?
Matt Gargan was originally
Gargan?
the Scorpion. He was Scorpion most of his life or existence, but there was a period of time where he had the Venom symbiote, and then he was posing as Spider-Man in a group called the Dark Avengers,
Whoa.
which was secret Avengers organized by Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin.
I want to read that.
You should.
Is it good, Artstar? Have you read it?
Oh, it's great. You should read. You should read all the Spider stuff.
Do you have
And it may take you a while, but you should read it. It should be on
Do you have them,
Comicsology.
do you have them in your apartment, and have they been flagged in the toilet?
Have they been flagged in the toilet? No.
He doesn't take him to the toilet. So
That's
you're
right.
saying Mark doesn't care.
Right.
So he says. All right, but he botches an FBI operation, which he didn't know he was. This is why he shouldn't be getting into this stuff, right? He botched this FBI operation, which was
It's
attempting
all
to
the more
arrest.
Although I
proof
will
that
say-
he is a kid.
He is a kid, and if I can't remember the exact conversation, but if Tony Stark had said, "All right, I will follow up on this," as opposed to just telling him not to get involved,
Yeah, right.
Valid.
that's Tony Stark
That
not
would be valid.
understanding how teenagers work. Don't do this. Get out of this. If he said, "I'll take care of it," I think that would have solved
Maybe.
a lot of problems. But Spider-Man
That's
didn't
valid.
know
I
anyone
can
was
see
following
that.
up on this. Peter Parker was like,
And he-
But
yeah, he
that's,
couldn't
that's
let it
also
be.
Tony doing what Tony does too, though, right? Like Tony likes to take control of the situation and not have anyone else's help for the most
Yeah.
part. So
yeah,
like,
this is Tony Stark trying to be a father figure and not hitting all the buttons.
So I found myself. So I just rewatched it again this weekend while I was kind of homesick a little bit, and so I found myself strangely wanting Peter not to do this hero stuff and just be a kid. Like when he made the decision to leave the party after he saw that blue explosion, I was like, no, just go to the party and be Spider-Man and say, yeah, I know Peter and I know what's his buddy's name? Ned. I know Ned. Ned's cool and Peter's cool, and like get the street cred, get the girl, be a high school kid, just ignore all that. I wanted him to do all that. And then at the end, when he chooses to go back to high school and not be the hero, I wanted the opposite. At that point, I was like, no, now be the hero. So he did the opposite things that I wanted him to do. Like I wanted him to be the cool kid in high school. And use Spider-Man just to be cool. Like, which is all they wanted him to do. They said, just go, no, stay out of this, go be cool.
Yeah, but he had a sense of responsibility because
Yeah. That's like if
But
great
he's a hero.
power.
like he says in Civil
Great
War,
power.
like they
Great
kind of
responsibility.
rephrased it was if you can do the things I can do, and you don't, and then the bad things happen, they kind of happen because of you.
Okay.
Which is his whole
It's
the
just the
whole reason
rephrasing.
he fights so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's right.
And he
And
was-
Touche. You ladies
it's-
are smart.
and it's also a sort of twist on the origin story of, when he first got the spider powers in the comics, he was like, how can I make money off of this? I'm broke all the time. Let's get some money. He goes and becomes a
Exactly.
professional wrestler, fights Randy Macho Man
That's
Savage and all that.
Right. Yeah.
And then when he gets stiffed from that money, he lets that criminal
He's
go
like,
by that
yep.
robs the guy that stiffed him. He's like, fuck you. and then that guy goes and kills his Uncle Ben.
So I just realized we don't get the the whole spider biting origin story in this version of Spider-Man, right? We don't see.
No,
Nope,
it's already happened by the time we meet him. It's like
Yeah.
6 months after he's had it when we met
And
him.
they've
in
already
Civil
done
War.
it enough with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
read that they didn't want it to be like this iteration of Spider-Man to be
Yeah.
an origin story.
the same
Right.
exact.
No,
thing.
we had enough origins for him.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
we
him.
know
we
the
all know
basics,
that already. We
and they're
don't-
not changing
I-
anything drastically.
This is how he exists in the world as a teen with these powers and trying to fit in with his teen group and trying to be an Avenger at the same time. We're watching that part of his life.
Well, TBJ, as the resident lady, do you like how they bring Zendaya in slowly as kind of a nerdy outcast?
That's always taking the piss out of him.
I like that part. That's you know, that's my kinda
Protester,
girl.
protesting
That's my kind of
patriotic.
my kind of character. Yes,
Yeah.
but I will note, Joe, because you were a little sexist. You don't have to be a lady to appreciate Zendaya's presence in the movie Zendaya. So
You don't have to be a lady.
I-
What did you say? You don't have to be a lady to appreciate Zendaya.
appreciate her presence in
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie and what her character is like.
Well, I mean, you're the only one who can speak for all women. We can't.
Yeah, sure. I put on the hat. No, I cannot speak for all women. I can speak for TBJ and only TBJ. But I do know that plenty of people did appreciate Zendaya.
Well,
In this
Artstar, do you want to speak for all badasses?
I'm pretty
no, I
sure
decline-
TBJ could
I-
speak for all badass.
I decline.
That's
Thanks,
true.
Andy.
And you saying
That
I
is true.
can't? And you saying
Are
I
you
can't?
saying Artstar can't jump off the top rope and do a flying elbow?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you went to Artstar to speak for all badasses without recognizing that TBJ could also
Well,
speak for all badasses.
TBJ is
And
the
that's
badass.
And
why-
yet,
Well,
TBJ
what he
and
was
Artstar
doing
cannot
was
speak for
he
each
was-
other because they're warring
He was
Sith
sharing
lords.
the
Wait, you just called TBJ a Sith Lord?
I'm
Well,
not a Sith Lord.
I was
We're
shorthanding
warring.
it.
It's a warring Sith Lord and a Jedi. Yeah.
Did we
We're-
lose Artstar?
no.
Oh, okay, I thought you
He's
got
just waiting for us to
sounded
stop
like you
talking
just
over.
said-
him.
No, he recognized the truth when he heard it, and then
Boom!
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
Artstar, you can absolutely jump off the top rope and deliver a flying elbow and speak for badasses.
but not for badasses everywhere. That's-
Yeah.
okay. So Toombs avoids Parker's attempts to shut down a malfunctioning weapon, cause it to overload and tear the ferry in half. That whole exciting scene where the gun just starts shooting everywhere and it cuts the ferry in half. And Stark, who had arranged for the FBI to apprehend Toombs, helps Parker save the passengers when he does the webs everywhere. And it's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And you see him struggling, just like screaming, and what's gonna happen? And then Tony Stark comes and saves the day.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
Iron Man.
Yeah, that guy, that was great. Yeah, he starts clapping. I love that guy because that's us, right? That's the Nerd School. That
Right.
could have been the Nerd School podcast yelling that. You know, like, hey,
We were
Yeah, Spider-Man.
yeah, I love that guy. And then that reminds me too of that part. And this guy, I think, is a famous comedian or YouTuber who's like, when he's doing his webs up in the air, I was like, hey, you're that spider guy. He's like, yeah, call me Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man, do a flip. And he does a flip. But that guy, I think, is somebody somewhere from something.
Do a flip.
Yeah, do a flip, and he does it. Anyway, afterwards, Stark admonishes him for his recklessness, reminding him that he almost killed dozens of people as well as himself. And deciding Parker can no longer be trusted, he demands the suit back. And that's when he tells him, if you're nothing without this suit, you shouldn't have the suit.
Yeah.
And Peter's
which is
upset.
big coming from Tony because Lord, he had to learn that lesson.
Yeah, right. And
But
he's-
he's if you're not a genius billionaire playboy philanthropist
Of
without the
course.
suit,
Well, doesn't he even say like, "Oh, I sound like my father," or "I sound like, it sounds familiar," or something like that? Didn't he say that?
probably, yeah.
As he's
like
giving
that.
the speech. So Peter's going to try to concentrate on his personal life. To that end, he makes a date with Liz and arranges to take her to the upcoming homecoming dance. And she already knew he likes her. Like, he's like, I like you. Yeah, I know. You're not very good at keeping secrets. He's like, oh, yeah, you wish. You don't know. You don't know. The real secret I keep.
I hear the,
The
secrets that you keep when you're Spider-Man in your sleep.
Anyway, that girl is. Don't you think she's out of his league? Like she wouldn't in real life. She wouldn't want to date him. Although no,
I
all the
don't
women love
think
that guy.
Yeah.
What's his
So,
name?
I
Tom.
think
Tom
I
Holland.
think we tell you all the time that what men think the female gaze is very inaccurate from what the actual female gaze is.
Yeah, we can't. We don't know. We can't see it.
No, you don't. That's fine.
We're not very
You
smart.
guys misconstrue it all the time. No.
That's true.
But yeah, and I think part of what makes Tom Holland, speaking of the female gaze, I guess, is that fucking lip sync battle he did to Rihanna when
Oh my God, it was the best.
yeah,
If-
Wait, what is
If
this?
you have not seen this,
the lip sync battle
Go-
between Zendaya and Tom Holland, I think in promotion of this movie.
Oh wait, they're
or maybe the
dating.
second
They're
one.
actually together, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think this is before that.
They are
Zendaya comes out and does a pitch perfect Bruno Mars 24 karat.
yeah.
Who does
magic.
that?
Zendaya.
Oh, Zendaya
Zendaya.
does.
Yeah, like full costume and
And then
everything.
he comes out
but
and
but
does
he comes out and does a little singing
Rihanna.
in the rain dance in a suit, and then he goes behind a bunch of umbrellas. Umbrella from Rihanna
Yes.
starts, and then he comes out and he's in full sexy
He's
drag,
so good.
and he
so good.
he sells
Yes,
it. He commits
YouTube
to it.
Is this on Jimmy Fallon
Yeah.
or something?
Well, they had a lip sync battle.
No,
It
this was when LL Cool J
Yeah.
hosted the show.
Oh,
So it
but it
started
wasn't-
off as a Jimmy Fallon bit, turned into a TV show with LL Cool J and Chrissy Teigen, and celebrities would go on all the time, and they do like 3 rounds to battle. But Andy's right; they were prepping they were publicity for the movie, and so they went on. And this is pre-coupledom.
But I
And
think you can
then
tell when
it was
Zendaya goes,
so
"Holy
good.
shit, I'm into this guy," and as soon as he comes out in that outfit,
Yeah.
she's like, you can see it in her face, like, "Oh my god, this has just done some stuff for me."
Really?
And,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that now. So
Well, the story is attraction between them early on, but they were very young, and the director was like, "Don't you dare! Like, don't do this. We have more than one movie to shoot, so let's not." And they didn't, and they went on and dated different people. And then in the last couple of years, you start to see them more and more together. They just kept it quiet because the creatives behind the scenes did not actually want them to couple. Because you get it, you got 2 stars of your movie, and if they fall out, which
yeah,
they do,
if it goes bad,
and then
you end up with the
They-
Artstar TBJ relationship.
yeah, where you're fighting all the time. Nobody wants that at home. And you're like, please, parents, stop fighting. So no, the director I think knew, or was a director or producer early on, that there was something there, and was like, don't do that.
Yeah.
So no, and they didn't, which was good. But they were also very young then. They're adults now, obviously, who've got a lot of things under their belts and can figure out navigating things. Because she dated, God, what's that actor's name? I can't remember his
So I
name
like
right now.
that TBJ seems to keep us in the. Well, I guess Andy did too, but seem to be in tune with like what's happening with
culture.
their lives, yeah, in the pop culture, like what's in the zeitgeist. Because how do we know? Like how do you guys even know that they're together? Like how do you know this? Is it TMZ or is
You
it?
watch
them
interviews.
together.
They've talked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
TBJ's frozen.
Been together. Now they have PDA, so it's there. And she does say now, like, you know, when she won an award last year, they were like, "Who's the first person called?" She said, "My boyfriend." They talk about it now.
Yeah, we lost TBJ for a second. So, but I mean, like you guys generally like you see it on like commercial or
Twitter, social media.
Twitter,
It's
social
everywhere.
media, everywhere.
And she confirmed it.
Yeah.
They've confirmed it.
They've confirmed it. They talk about it. People want to know that stuff, right? On the red carpet. Who are you wearing? Who are you doing?
Well, they didn't talk about it for a while. You would just see him showing up at like her cousin's wedding with her or stuff like that.
Well, now, how would you see that? How would you see him showing
Because
up?
paparazzi follow celebrities every damn where they go. They can't go take a shit in the restaurant without a paparazzi.
Artstar takes a shit in the restaurant all the time.
You're with him, we know. But
no, Artstar won't shit. In
So
the
you
restaurant.
said when I'm taking a shit in the restaurant, Joe's holding my hand,
yep, you
trying
need
to
his
coax
company.
it out.
Hey,
You're
Because I
man.
had a lot of
codependent.
chocolate.
I'm
that
just
day.
helping a friend. I'm just helping a friend.
Yeah, codependency at his best. Yeah.
Show number 2, who's boss? Who does number 2 work for?
Joe
Yeah.
has in the past held hands with someone else while taking dumps in a public restroom.
And I only did it because he said, "Don't be afraid," or like, prove to the world that you're not above holding my hand while I'm pooping.
Oh, God bless it.
All right. Anyway.
No explanation required.
Meanwhile, most of Tomb's workers decide to leave the operation. Now they know Stark is on the trail. And with most of their Chitauri technology gone, Toombs decided to make one final hit, which will set him and a few of his remaining associates up for life. And we all find out
It's the hit he's been trying not to do because he knows it's too ridiculous.
but it's Avenger, it's Tony Stark moving Stark Tower, and it's like I didn't even it took me forever to pick up on that. Oh, that's what they're gonna hit. Duh. He's only happy he's been talking about this move the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
so
then there's a point where Happy Hogan is listing contents, and there's the name he can't pronounce, and it just says Thor's magic belt.
yeah, Thor's belt. Do you guys know what that? I was gonna ask.
That's actually a comic book thing that has, as far as like has no other reference in the MCU beyond that moment. Megan Njord. It's an actual Norse myth thing, an enchanted belt of strength owned by Thor.
Wow, Thor's belt.
Megingjord.
That's funny.
Megan Njord. If you look at the Viking spelling, there's umlauts and shit in it.
Umlauts are delicious.
Umlauts are delicious.
I always get an extra. Can I get some extra umlauts at Dunkin' Donuts when I go through the drive-through?
You get umlauts on your omelets?
Umlauts, ba-doo-ba-da-ba,
Umlauts,
dibba-da-ba,
umlauts,
dibba-da-ba-doo.
All right, we've gone way out.
TBJ,
And that,
let it be
and that-
noted. What? Go
And
ahead,
that,
Archie.
friends, was the Hunt Circus Boys' #1 hit.
Let it be noted that TBJ hates umlauts. On the night of the dance, Parker goes to Liz's house to pick her up, only to get the shock of his life when he learns that Liz's father is none other than Toombs the Vulture.
Realized that he got the shock of his life, but it wasn't from the shocker.
It wasn't from the shocker, so he didn't get 2 in the pink. Parker only just manages to maintain his composure. However, during the car ride to the dance, Toombs learns that Peter went missing whenever Spider-Man was around and deduces his secret, and he recognizes his voice, kind of thing. So I know that voice. When Liz is out of the way, Toombs tells Parker he'll let him live since he saved Liz in Washington, but warns that he'll show no mercy if he continues to interfere with his plans. He's like, I'll kill you if you come between me and my family. During the dance, Parker realizes Toombs is planning to hijack the Stark cargo plane, transporting weaponry from Avengers Tower to the team's new headquarters. Although unsure if he can defeat Toombs without Stark's advanced tech, Parker realizes he cannot abandon his duties, and he leaves the dance. He puts on his old homemade Spider-Man suit. Why are you wearing that stupid suit? The shocker makes fun of him. What's with the stupid outfit? And he races to Toombs' lair to confront him after Ned helps him stick the new shocker into the school bus.
And then he gets uncovered being the guy in the chair. What are you doing in here? I'm watching porn. Like he can't come up with a better excuse than that.
I love that moment. I love that moment when he says, like, he has to say he's watching porn to cover for Spider-Man. And that teacher that caught him, she's in something else. She's from a show. Anybody know what she's from? I
don't remember. I have to look who that is.
She's from something, and I kept meaning to look it up, and I haven't. I know her from somewhere. Like, I feel like it's like an educational show we watch as kids or something, or in high school or junior high or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, that's that. All right, I gotta watch the clip.
You're gonna watch the clip just to figure out who it is?
Yeah.
or she's Law and Order. Is she from Law and Order or something?
No, she's not. She looks kind of like Estapatha Murkison, but is not.
I think she was on a math show.
Square One Television.
Friday math something.
Yeah, I don't recognize this person, but I know she looks familiar.
Maybe it's something I watch with the kids. I'll have to figure it out. We'll figure it out later.
Salinas Leva is her name.
That's the actor's name, Selena Levia. Yeah, here she is.
She was on Orange is the New Black.
Oh, that's what I know her from. That's not an educational show at all.
Did not watch that with you.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, she is. She is. There's like a mother and daughter who are both in jail, and she's the mother. That's right. She's really good. She's awesome in that movie, that show. Anyway, where are we at? Okay, Parker is first ambushed by Schultz. That's who the new Shocker is.
Yeah.
But defeats him with the help of Ned. He then confronts Toombs in the lair. Yeah.
Ned does the web.
Ned does the web shooter. It's so funny. He then confronts Toombs in the lair, who attempts to persuade him to his side. When Parker refuses, Toombs destroys the building's support beams and leaves him to die under the rubble. That was another sad part, where he's stuck under that rubble and I gotta be Spider-Man. And they have that moment where he looks at the reflection where it's half Spider face, half his face. Yeah, we've seen a million times in the comics, right? We had a coloring book with that.
Especially in like the Daily Bugle or the newspaper strip, they do that all the time.
Right?
But this moment is built on. I gotta remember which issue it is. There's an issue of Amazing Spider-Man number 33, where like he's buried under all sorts of rubble, and he has to sort of call on his deepest reserves of spider strength to try to come on,
Spider-Man. Yeah, that was a cool moment. But he overcomes his self-doubt and escapes before intercepting Toombs on board the now damaged plane and steering it towards the beach near Coney Island. And this is the part I was like, oh, just nervous, like up in the plane, like anything happens and you're dead. Like he's just holding on and he's wearing pajamas. I mean, and like falling into the engine a bunch of times almost. And it's just nerve wracking. It's just exciting. What an exciting movie, the whole thing. I just can't believe there's all these exciting moments. That's Marvel for you. The two engage in a confrontation that ends with Parker saving Toombs' life from his own unstable equipment and leaving him for the New York City Police Department with that little note saying, "Hey, found this vulture guy." That was kind of funny. But that whole thing on the beach, steers the plane, it crashes. We see Happy kind of seeing the plane crash behind him when he finally got all that done, and then it crashes. And then sometime later, Parker learns that Liz is moving away, and Michelle Jones will be replacing her as president of the decathlon team. And after receiving a call from Happy Hogan, Parker was asked to visit the Avengers facility. And Stark offers Parker an even more advanced suit and an invitation to join the Avengers, and the media's all out there, and he's supposed to unveil them to him. And Parker declines Stark's invitation in favor of remaining a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and wants to go back to being a kid. This is when I was like, no, join the Avengers.
Yeah,
well, he thought it was a test.
He's still a kid. Yeah.
He did the right thing. TBJ's right. He did the right thing.
But he also thinks it was a test and probably doesn't believe he was actually about to be an Avenger.
That's true. Because Tony offered it.
So then Tony has to cover because Pepper comes out and is like, what the hell is media here? What are you going to do? So he's like, you got that ring? So we assume he's going to pop the question to Pepper.
Yeah.
In front of the media.
See it. And there was a fun bit like several years later, like Gwyneth Paltrow and I think Jon Favreau or somebody were on some kind of talk show or cooking show or something. And Gwyneth Paltrow had no idea she was in this movie. She thought this was just some other Avengers scene or something. It's like, I wasn't in Spider-Man. What are you talking about? It's like, yes, you were. I mean, barely, but she had no idea.
So do we think they filmed that then while they're filming other stuff for something else? Or we don't know when that was even filmed?
I don't have the shooting schedule.
Was she CGI'd in?
No, she was in there,
no,
but she just didn't know that
not told.
That one sequence was in a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because it was probably just a second that she did that.
Yeah, it was like probably 4 hours of work to do that.
She knew she had to come to set that day and film a scene with Tony and Toby, and was like, cool, and then left and was like, it'll show up somewhere. At this point, her contract, she knows she's gonna show up.
Yeah.
So she probably just didn't phase her.
All right, TBJ, if you get hired tomorrow as Gwyneth Paltrow's bodyguard, are you taking the job?
I don't know.
Not sure if that's
Can
for
I
you.
do it? Yes. Do I want to leave my home? No. I'm an introvert at heart.
What if they say you can be Gwyneth Paltrow's bodyguard, but instead of you going to her place, she's just going to come stay with you and you protect
That sounds like a Medea movie in the making. Is she bringing her goop with her?
She's bringing her goop and her
vagina scented flowers or
her,
whatever.
her smell.
Candles.
Yeah, her candles that smell like vaginas.
Yeah, this would be an interesting movie. It would be an interesting thought experiment there. We do it just for the content.
Just see how it goes. That would be a good YouTube series.
Exactly.
Gwyneth Paltrow stays with TBJ. Okay. Where are we at? So Pepper, yeah, the ring. Upon returning home, Parker discovers that Stark has returned his upgraded suit and he puts it on and looks toward the window. Meanwhile, May is standing behind him the whole time and says, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So can you tell me what happens without spoiling? Like, is she in the next Spider-Man and she's in on the deal, or do they just mind wipe her, but she knows about it?
No mind wiping.
No, she's.
Does May ever know in the comics, or does she know about Spider-Man?
Yes and no, depending on what. I mean, there's a long period of time, like hundreds of issues, where he's keeping that secret from her, and she's always saying she hates Spider-Man, thinks he's creepy and weird. So that's another reason he never says, "Oh, I'm Spider-Man." Although I think J. Jonah Jameson publishing stories about how shitty Spider-Man is probably feeds into that. But then there was a revelation. They had an issue where Aunt May was going to die during the Clone Saga, and I think she revealed that she always knew. She was just trying to discourage him from risking his life as Spider-Man by doing that,
saying he sucks.
But she wasn't so dumb that
I do remember that story.
She noticed him sneaking out of the house all the time,
and
every day.
I'm sure we already talked about this, but is there a young, beautiful Aunt May in the comics too, as well as the old lady?
The Ultimate Comics had a younger version of Aunt May. She was still, silver haired, but she wasn't like 80-year-old grandma,
like the granny
giving you wheat cakes.
Yeah, I like wheat cakes.
Right. So
But I mean, I just remember her looking like the granny and Sylvester and Tweety.
Yeah, and that in the Tobey Maguire movies, she was that Aunt May. She was very old.
Her and Ben were older. They were
granny.
older and older.
Yeah, and then the Andrew Garfield one, she was played by Sally Field, so that was a step.
Oh, yeah, she's a little.
And then they said, "All right, let's go full on."
And Into the Spider-Verse is played by Lily Tomlin. That's Aunt May.
Oh, really?
Really?
That's right.
Man, dropping the knowledge. Artstar, dropping the trivia.
Word up.
Boom!
While he's dropping deuces.
Boom, boom.
Okay, and then we have in prison.
See, that was two, and he was dropping deuces. So
2 deuces.
That works on many levels.
And then in prison, we see that the incarcerated Gargan, who is, you said, is Too Cold Scorpio, Scorpion, approaches Toombs inside the prison, explains that several criminals are banding together to exact vengeance against Spider-Man. And when pressured by Gargan about Spider-Man's identity, hey, rumor has it, you know who he is. And he denies any knowledge by saying he'd already be dead, which I think is a kind of a badass thing to say.
Yeah.
But it also shows he's
at the end, Spider-Man kind of saved his life as well.
Yeah, so, he knows he saved them. Right.
Well, he saved them, and then I think there's the fact that he's a damn child. I think it would be another level of villainry to turn in the name of a child.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to threaten that level of villainy.
No,
I'm going to kill you and everyone you love.
But you can threaten and think, oh, he's a kid, so he'll be scared of that threat. That's different. A bunch of bad guys. No, it's this guy. Go to this high school. Kill him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing though, is Shocker knows who he is too. And
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
but we'll see. That hasn't been followed up on yet. So
we don't see Shocker after he gets stuck to this bus.
I don't think so. I think there was a hint that, with Vulture and Scorpion there, and then he also has Shocker in his crew, and he's got the Tinkerer inventing shit for him, that maybe they were going to try to gear up for a Sinister Six story.
Is that who all those guys are? Sinister
Not
Six?
necessarily. The Sinister Six, the classic Sinister Six, is Dr. Octopus, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, the Vulture, Mysterio, and I think Rhino. And they technically, and then I think they thought, the No Way Home Spider-Man was going to bring, that's kind of what they did there.
It's a nod to it. But
it's a nod to it, but they don't have the actual, they don't have most of those guys in the MCU yet.
Just you mentioning those names makes me want to go play some Marvel Snap. Hopefully soon, this podcast will be sponsored by Marvel Snap.
All right.
I'm sure they need our exposure.
They need our help. Yeah. Anyway, there's one other post-credit scene with Captain America doing public service announcements centering on the importance of patience and explaining how patience can be the key to victory, but it can also lead to something disappointing after waiting so long. And then tired, he's like, how many more of these I gotta do?
Yeah, that's the joke of the end credits. Like, you waited for the end credit scene and it's just me.
And it's disappointing. Yeah, it's this stupid thing. Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was a neat way to introduce the cheesier aspect of Captain America.
But at least we get to see Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Evans. Yeah.
Chris Evans.
Why
Chris
should
Everett.
say Everett?
Chris Everett is a tennis player.
Yeah.
The hot Chris.
Are you saying
We got to
Chris?
see the hot.
The hot Chris. Is he hotter than Chris
Hemsworth?
Pine? Than Hemsworth?
The Hemsworth, they each bring their own thing to the table. I'd put them here. Here, I want to gaze at a Hemsworth. I want to just bask in it, but I want to go to dinner with an Evans.
Okay.
Okay. So
dinner,
just
dinner
for
gaze
here,
or kill
TBJ
dinner.
put her
gaze.
hands about equal levels.
Yeah.
So, TBJ, did
For
we already?
those who can't see through them.
So would you be with the three Chris's?
I'm not touching the other Chris at all. He's got some.
Pratt or Pine?
Pratt.
Pine. I was talking Pine.
Oh, I mean, we can throw. Well,
Captain
Captain
America or
Yeah.
Thor.
I can have
Brother.
some brother husbands. I think we talk about a new TV show, TBJ and her brother husband.
That would be cool.
And also fold in Gwyneth Paltrow living in your closet.
That's true. She's visiting and she's staying with me for some reason. We've got gold here. Someone call us.
We got some things. We will make this happen, Marvel Universe or
Yeah.
Hollywood or whoever needs a bodyguard / a woman to be a
It's a television
sister husband
in the Joeverse.
brother
There you
husbands.
go. Brother husband, three Christmas.
While we're talking about Hemsworth, do you want to comment on the Liam Hemsworth Miley Cyrus situation?
Not really.
What's their situation?
They were married. They were young. They fell in love. They broke up. Got back
Cheating.
together.
He
Got
cheated on her
married.
14 times.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
A lot of stuff that goes down on both sides. And then she is free, and now she has written a song, which I do love the song. So hell yeah, I got you, Miley. I think young Hollywood is a tricky ass thing, and they've both been young Hollywood for a very long time. And I hope they do some growing up individually and work on themselves individually. But Chris has been married for a very long time, and we don't hear that much controversy coming out of him and his wife.
Well, here's the thing I heard on TikTok, Andy. You may not have heard, but
I'm sure this is
so. So she
Breaking news.
On their anniversary, or maybe when they got married or something, he dedicated Bruno Mars's
Yes,
what's that song?
that's her song.
Uptown Funk.
Not Uptown
No,
Funk.
I should have bought you flowers. That song.
Bought you flowers and write your name in the sand or whatever. So her new song she wrote is like a diss to him. after he cheated on her with 14 women and was like, I write my own
That's
name in the sand. I buy my
speculation,
own
yeah.
flowers. I buy my own, like it was the same lyrics of Bruno Mars, but saying, I don't need you to do that shit for me. I'm a
It
woman.
was
I do
like
that myself.
reversed.
Wait, it's like
Was
writing your
it?
name in the sand. Is that like when you write your name in the snow?
When you
With your
pee.
No.
pee?
No. You take a stick and you write your name in
Oh,
the
I see.
sand.
Or a wiener in Art's
No.
case.
No.
Art writes his name
No.
in the sand with his wiener.
We're not
Oh,
going
that's a
down that
that's a
road.
rough. That's a rough. That's
Art
a
just
rough
helicopters. He's helicopters in the sand with his
Oh
wiener.
God. No.
Well, we apologize, listeners. On behalf
Yeah.
of, I apologize on behalf of TBJ for that crass comment.
You should apologize.
That's Spider-Man Homecoming. I think it was a great movie. I can't believe
Yeah.
how much action-packed it was. I honestly thought it was going to be over after the elevator scene. I was like, this was an awesome movie after the elevator scene. If that was the climax of everything, holy cow, that was exciting. Great movie. And then I was like, oh shit, a bunch more awesome, exciting shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff in here.
Yeah.
And
A lot of great
it's,
stuff and a hell of a cast, even in the
Mhm.
smaller bits.
Yeah, great.
and
Cast.
I was genuinely surprised by the revelation that Adrian Toombs was Liz's dad, because that's a departure from the comics.
Yeah,
But,
which is cool. So it
yeah.
can surprise you nerds that know everything too.
Yeah, yeah.
And not be mad about it.
I was
Probably.
like, oh shit, when he opened the door.
Yeah, and that's the exciting thing, that they can do that. They can make nerds say that. They can make non-nerds say, "Oh shit." I love it.
Yeah.
And I have a new respect for Zendaya because I only knew her from that Disney show that my daughter watched when she was littler.
Really? The girl's been killing the game for a long time now. Is that
Well,
all?
I'm new to the. I'm not watching anything because I'm learning through the nerd
Now,
school.
have you seen her in Euphoria?
I don't
She
know what
probably
that
hasn't.
is.
No.
I don't know what
That's
that
what
is.
she right now. All her awards are coming from Euphoria.
What is that? A TV show or a
It's an
movie?
HBO show where she's
Yeah.
like a
she's a
drug
grown-up
addict,
now, like-
high school kid who has high school orgies or something.
Whoa.
Is that
What?
right?
It's like the
Right.
sinister side of high school. Like it's the high school kids who have a lot of shit on their plates and are just
See,
balanced.
she's like a daughter to me because my daughter watched that show she was on, whatever that show was. was
when
she
she
a
was
s-
on there with Bella Thorne.
I can't remember
The
which
name of
one.
that. No, she was on there with Bella Thorne, who is they are now both adult actresses.
I might be getting that mixed up with a different show now that I think about it.
No, you're not.
Ariana Grande was on a show with her? No, that's a
No,
different
that's not her. That's McGurdy. That's the girl who wrote Glad My Mama's Dead.
something where
that
they're
was
in like an art school and Ariana Grande's the dumb girl.
Yeah.
That's not even
That's
that's
not
not
the same
Zendaya.
show, I don't think.
Zendaya's not on that one.
No, she's
But
not.
I know she's on some, like she was like a superhero or something, right?
That's her second. So she did one show
That's
with
the
Bella
one.
Thorne early on, and then she did another one.
Okay, I know her from the
Um,
one where she's a secret super. There's a
Yeah.
family of superheroes or something.
They're a family. Mm-hmm.
I don't
She
know.
appeared in the Disney Channel sitcom Shake It Up from 2010 to 2013 as Rocky
That's
Blue.
the Bella Thorne. Mm-hmm.
I don't think I saw that.
She also starred in the 2012 Disney Channel original movie Frenemies.
Not that either. Maybe I'm getting her mixed up with somebody
Herself
else.
in the Disney Channel reality series Prank Stars. And
No, you're not mixing her up. She did play a superhero.
she was Zoe Stevens in the Disney Channel original movie Zapped, which is hopefully not based on Scott Baio's
Right.
Zapped.
Fuck Scott Baio. Yeah, I
What
said
did
it.
he do? That's very hard.
Charles in charge.
Scott Baio's
She
a
was-
crazy Trump guy now.
She portrayed both
yeah,
the titular
that's
character
what-
Casey Cooper and Bernice in KC Undercover from 2015 to
That's the
2018.
hero one.
That's it. Casey Undercover is what Audrey used to watch.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
Tap
Anyway.
in now. First of all, she has always killed the game stylistically on red carpet. So number one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I will make no bones about the fact that I am completely out of touch with anything that's
And
out
then
there. So I don't know.
Euphoria is good. Like you don't necessarily like her character necessarily, but she's so good. She's good.
She's a great actress. Yeah, I mean, she's killing it, I'm sure. But
fantastic.
it's just neat to see her. I can't remember what I was going to say. Something about.
You need to see her as an adult.
Well,
Nice.
I mean, she's still a kid in this one, but like, I have
Yeah.
respect for her now rather than she's not in some dumb Disney show that I can't wait for my daughter to turn off. Because like like
Hey, Disney launched a many career.
oh
And
yeah,
we
it
can't get a
does.
Marvel contract, Joe. If you keep dissing Disney, they own
Oh,
Marvel.
sorry,
We
Disney.
need that.
But no, well, that programming's not for me. I'm not their target audience for those shows. It was my
There you
daughter.
go.
It was, but being a
There's
father.
nothing wrong with watching Disney shows, though.
No,
There
I'm not
isn't,
saying there
but he
is.
can't
I just
call
got
them
finished
dumb.
watching Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur on the weekend.
No, I'm just saying like those shows, like the acting. I mean, it's for kids.
Like Bunked and
Yeah, Bunked and all that, like the laugh
Villains
track
of
and
Valley,
oh.
whatever that's called.
Yeah, camp. What's that camp?
Brock.
Camp Laszlo.
I don't know. It's that Bunked and all
They
those
did Camp Rock,
ones.
the Camp Rock series with the Jonas Brothers originally.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway,
yeah.
but now I like seeing Zendaya and stuff like this, which is awesome. And I guess she's
As
gonna
you
be in the
should.
next one, and I'm probably excited to see that.
You should be.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. It's time for TBJ
Uh,
to go back to work and Andy to pipe down. Oh, what?
I
Andy?
just want to mention that apparently this Zapped movie that she was in is about she has an app on her phone that can control the minds of boys.
And she's also in love with the G.I. Joe character Zap.
No. Yes. Oh,
Is
she's
Frank
actually,
Zappa in
but
this show?
Grunt is in love with her, so it's a whole triangle between
Grunt.
Zap and Grunt.
I wish there was a love triangle between Zap and Grunt.
Turns out Zap and Grunt love each other.
All right,
But-
we all love you. Artstar loves you all.
Everybody, we gotta go back to work.
And don't forget the big contest. Win one night alone with Artstar. It's still going on.
Are we still pimping him out?
Yeah, leave us a 5-star review. Everybody
There you go.
gives us a
Put
5-star
you in a
review.
raffle.
Gets one night alone with Artstar.
Right.
Did we rate this movie, or do we need to? Thumbs
Oh,
up.
we can't. I mean, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Everybody give
We-
one.
We do
word.
not have a consistent rating system. Just
We do
know it.
not.
No, we got to figure that out. One
Give it
word. One
4
word.
umlauts.
Everybody give one word to sum it up and how you liked it. I'll say
Amazing.
amazing. Artstar says
Fantastic.
something fantastic. Andy?
Spectacular.
All right, I'll say
Peter Porker.
Superior. Say superior, Joe.
These are all adjectives that have been used for Spider-Man in his comic books.
Oh, they are
Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man was in the Fantastic Four sometimes.
Oh,
So now
I
you got to
was-
say
Avengers.
Web of.
Webby, very sticky,
Very webby. Done.
Well, sticky.
sexy, sexy. I love Ned.
All right, so
bye,
the next
guys.
one is what?
Oh, what is it? Thor Ragnarok, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope that's right because I've been watching it.
I think that's
Believe
right.
Pretty
so.
sure. Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Let me I will confirm.
'Cause
with a quick
Artstar's been
internet
saying,
search.
Ragnarok, you're gonna love Ragnarok. Blah blah
You get
blah.
to see
Blue,
an
blue,
awesome
blue.
Thor.
I think we've all said
Hulk.
Ragnarok. I love
That's
Ragnarok.
Thor Hulk dynamic.
Yep, we've
You
got
know?
Thor
The super
Ragnarok,
strong
Black
Batman
Panther.
Robin thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hulk. He and Hulk
Yeah.
get into it, right? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's a Thor Hulk buddy movie, kind of.
Pretty much.
I
It's
did
like what
watch
you
it
imagine.
once. My first initial, through where I barely pay attention because the ADD kicks in.
Well, go back
If
and watch it.
Goldblum is
I'm gonna
really
watch a couple
good in
more
it.
times.
Yep. Thor
Yeah,
Ragnarok
you should.
is like when they finally decide to just have a lot of fun with the Thor mythos instead of like the previous two
Yeah.
movies were a bit too turgid. Like
Someday I would love to do a recording of a watch through where we watch it and talk live about it
We
together.
should.
Like,
yeah, we can figure that
let's
out.
set aside time sometime for that.
Which is why we need the people to like, subscribe, and listen so that we can build up free time so we can
Yeah.
actually sit down together and make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it last
Maybe get back in the
forever.
studio all in the same room.
All right.
Yes, that'd be great.
Sing us out, Art.
Make it last forever and ever
And later, nerd.
and ever.
They say I can't rap about the president no more, but evidently they don't see we in the streets still poor. Still more incarceration of my kinsmen by the prisons, and people thinking this election to end in racism. Proud over pessimism, glad to see Obama, but don't expect me not to speak out when I still see problems, Mr. Officer. Now they POTUS look like me, you gon' think again when seeing brothers rolling down the street. Every Martin Luther King on his American dream. Still a Rodney being beaten, screaming fuck the police. Me, I'm running through the pasture trying to get away from master, but the dogs is on my ass, I gotta move a little faster. Can't pass for Caucasian, but I got a couple papers from the plantation saying I graduated. Congratulations, cool beans, but to most school mean trying to dodge STDs, living off government cheese. Trust the government, please. Not even if it was me sitting in the Oval Office as commander-in-chief, trying to give us free, but there's a nigga in my ear saying, you got it, Superman, you ought to keep it here. Get this distinctly clear, I'm all about jetting. Raps Kunta Kinte without the half-stepping. A new chapter, back with new lessons. After that, the final exam. Any questions?
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.